Welcome back, friends. Today we need to talk about the state of the game. We are in 1.2 at the moment and we are in the month of August. I have definitely a lot of stuff to say about the game because we are currently in kind of a little bit of a slump, to be honest. We didn't really get much. So if we take a look at this right here, we have the revenue chart of the game. And as we can see down here, in May 24, the game was released and it gathered up to $12 million, which is very good. Then in June 24, we got the update Thor of Eons with Jinchi. We got the continuation of the main storyline and we have a massive increase of revenue. We are more than double in terms of the revenue in this month over here. Why did the revenue skyrocket over here? Because first of all, they delivered. They delivered with the characters. Jinchi was quite a good character. The update had the continuation of the main story. So we just bumped up over here like crazy. Things were changed and bugs were fixed. If the game delivers, we want to buy stuff in the game, right? So it bumped up in revenue quite dramatically. And of course, Jinchi is definitely an S+, very versatile resonator. So here we have a pretty significant rise to the top. But then, as we can take a look over here, we go down, almost back to 12 million, back to the start, with the release of Chun-Li. Even with Chun-Li being super badass and a super cool character with a very cool quest line, we are down here. This is okay. This is not as bad as it seems like because we still have 13 million of revenue over here, okay? Just with one release of a character. So this is not bad at all. It looks bad in comparison, but this update here was a real banger. And the game fixed a lot of the problems of the start. So here's the release, but to be honest, this might probably be the real release. So that we are down here back again, this is okay, this is normal. But here in August we are even more down. And one thing I have to say is that this is not too bad because they raised a bunch of money and they can continue to develop the game. I'm going to talk about the future development in just a minute, but just to give you guys an insight, in August right here we have a pretty low income because Jeji is not really the main power or waifu fantasy that a lot of people have, and so the revenue goes down. This is just natural for a gacha game like that. Jeji cannot be put in too many teams. Here we kind of get into a little bit of a dilemma. So why should the people invest into this character when the character is not a main DPS, when it's not the typical power fantasy, it's not a crazy badass dude, or it's not like a super hot or super cute kind of cliche type of character. So yeah, this is pretty normal why the revenue goes down over here, but the correlation of revenue and quality of game needs to be observed with a little bit of a grain of salt because there are excellent, amazing, wonderful games. 99.9% flatten out completely after the initial release of the game. So just don't be too worried about it. I already said that I'm going to talk about the future of the game and how the developers are planning to develop the game. And what I can say is that Kuro is definitely a very good developer team so far. And it definitely seems like they understand what the players want. So we just didn't had any real competition for Genshin in the past few years. And now they come up with these like cool systems like printing up a wall, which was really annoying in Genshin. We have banners where we can freely pick choice banners. We can freely choose if we want a weapon or if we want a character. And in general, they are just improving on the things that we hated in Genshin. So they are communicating with us and they are even saying something like, in this preview you can have a glimpse into the new area, gameplay features and some storylines currently in development. They are developing stuff and they are developing challenges, they are developing new regions, and in the past they had an interview with Epic Games where they said a lot of really good things as well. So I'm definitely thinking that Kuro is going to deliver in the future. The next thing that needs to be said is, yeah, we are currently in a little bit of a slump because what can we do in a game? We can do a tested fields, we can do our forgery challenges, we can do the elusive realm currently, but what else is there? Weekly boss challenges, and for those who haven't played the main quest line, you can play the main quest line, right? But other than that, we are probably all at this point where data bank is maxed out. We are probably at level like 40 to 60, somewhere in between that range, and there's just not much to do. But I can definitely assure you that this is a completely normal thing, because guys, the game just came out. You cannot, for example, take Genshin and say, hey, look, Genshin has so much stuff to do. Yeah, but Genshin is in development for years. Genshin is officially released for years. And Wuthering Waves is officially released for 3 months now, and the game already delivers with some very good content. But if we compare it to Genshin, for example, Genshin back in the days had only dailies. Later on they added these world bosses, this like, what was it, a dragon or a sea serpent in this lake. And if we compare Genshin to Wuthering Waves, for example, I think Wuthering Waves already delivered, and they are taking a little bit of a too harsh critique on the game in my opinion. So if we compare month 3 in Wuthering Waves to month 3 to Genshin, it's kind of similar actually. We have a little bit of a more boring patch, but we get a free 5-star, which is the compensation for the team just needing more time to develop better content. I think we kind of need to see it from that perspective. Why is the studio giving stuff out for free? They are giving stuff out for free as a compensation, because if they didn't give us Zhang Liao, we would probably already start a riot and say, hey, we don't have stuff to do. We had this little story quest with Zhang Liao, which was kind of cool. We had this companion quest with Jeji, which was whatever. I didn't even finish it. And other than that, there's like not much to do currently. Game development and creating good game content definitely takes time. They even stated that before the release of the game they had so many problems. Now we just need to wait. We can make speculations. Oh, is the game going to flop in the next few years? Are they just going to sell out and just say, hey, you know what, we are just popping out new characters and just deliver some mundane basic content? Who knows, but I think the crew is definitely driven, and because of the fact that they have Genshin as a competitor, I think they will definitely try to deliver, and I think they are doing everything they can to really solidify their ground in the gacha gaming space. We just saw Genshin react to the great traversal of Wuthering by implementing this shark and this companion that could dig underground, and yeah, so they reacted, and we are already starting to see some changes within the gacha games. So competition is most of the times a very good thing, because both competitors need to see like, hey, they are doing something, we need to catch up, and then they are saying, oh, they are doing, we need to catch up over here, and then they are just competing and they are creating 2 better products.